Hi there, my name is Lewis and this is not financial advice. So maybe you've got some money in the bank, you're not quite sure what to do with it, but you do know that you want to make a smart decision, you want to invest it somewhere, but you just don't quite know where the best place is to put it. So I'm going to be talking in this video about the most dangerous place you could possibly put your money in right now and how you can avoid doing that. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, comment with any of the comments that you've got as we go through the video, any questions you've got as we go through. Make sure you like the video as well and share it with somebody who you think this is going to be helpful for as well. So you want to make smart decisions. I personally always wanted to make smart decisions with my money. I had to get myself educated to be able to do that. And one thing I realized about myself, as I get older, I become more and more risk averse. That means I don't like taking risks. I want to make sure bets. I want to make sure decisions. I want to make sure that I'm being smart with my money, basically, and not taking crazy risks. And in 2022, which is where we are right now, the world is hectic. Who knows what's going to happen next? Probably aliens are going to appear or something like that and we'll all be abducted. Hey, at least when we get off of this crazy ride that we seem to be on the past few years on planet Earth. So what are the options in 2022? What do you have the availability to you that you could look at as different forms of investments, or rather different places to put your money? So you could be looking at a savings account, you could be looking at ISAs, you might want to look at some of the previous videos I've done about what the benefits are and what some of the challenges are with some of these options as well. You could be investing in stocks and shares, investing in property, investing in a business, maybe starting up a business, or potentially even buying a business. That's an option too. You could invest in education, maybe go and retrain yourself in something. You could invest in education from a personal finance perspective as well. I learned how to trade. I learned how to invest in property, that type of thing too. Loads of options there around the education sphere. You could put money into a forex trading account if you know what you are doing. You could put it under the mattress if you wanted to. You could put it into an index tracker. You could buy some smart watches, some fancy watches. Some people consider them to be an investment. You could buy precious metals. You could buy artwork like I've done. You could put stuff into a hedge fund, or you could put it into a trust, whether or not you think that's ethical or not. You could put it into life experiences. So you could travel the world. You could spend time with your family. You could quit your job and live off of that for a given period of time, depending on how much you've got. You could renovate your home, or you could buy yourself a nice new car. One of my friends has just bought a nice classic car. He is close to the retirement age though, so he's already done his investment thing. He's got quite a pretty penny to sit on. So he's gone and bought himself a car. Lovely jubbly. But that may not be the best option for you. But out of that list, let me know in the comments which one grabs your attention first. Maybe it is something to do with life experience. Maybe it is you want to go and retrain as a doctor, a lawyer or something, or you want to learn how to invest better. And what is it that grabs your attention first? Now, whatever you do with your money, I want to make sure that you're investing it into an asset. So I'm going to pick on something here to maybe change your perspective on something. So oftentimes when people have money left over, they've got it in the bank, they don't know what to do with it. What do they tend to spend it on? They tend to spend it on their home because it seems like it's a good investment. It seems like it's the right thing to do. Not always. And I'm going to talk to you here about what is an asset, what is a liability. So for me, I personally subscribe to the idea that an asset is something which puts money into our pocket each month. So every single month it's making us money. And therefore a liability is something which takes money out of our pocket on a monthly basis. So that's the definition of an asset. That's the definition of a liability. So by that very token, if you're putting money into your house isn't necessarily an asset. Did I really just say that? Yes, I did. Because what does a house do on a monthly basis? If you're paying the mortgage, if you're paying the bills, if you're paying for all the renovations and everything like that, technically that house is not an asset. It's not putting money into your pocket. It's taking money out of your pocket. Now, yes, I know we can have a conversation here about, well, down the line. I'm not thinking about down the line. I'm thinking about right now, month to month, putting more money into my pocket and investing into my own property, doing renovations work doesn't necessarily put money into my pocket right now on a month by month recurring basis. So that's the definition we're looking at. The worst place I think you could put your money is not the house, although I'm just saying it's maybe not the best place either if we're looking at creating assets which make us money on a monthly basis. The worst place I believe you can put your money right now is into a savings account. Now, a savings account is the worst place for your money, in my opinion, at this specific moment in time. Now, I am going to caveat that. I always like to bring balance to this because it may be the case that you're putting money into a savings account to save up for something larger, maybe for a house deposit or something like that as well. But even if that's what you're putting money into a savings account for, or you just have a rainy day fund, again, no problem with having a rainy day fund. But beyond that, just having money sat there in a savings account is not a good idea. If you are saving up for something, maybe consider putting it in shorter term investments, which are safe and secure, but create liquidity, meaning you can take the money out easier. That's what I do with my trading account. I have my money in there. It makes me more money each week, each month. And when I need to take it out, I can do it like that. Super simple, nice and easy. So that is the caveat with a savings account, is that if you're saving up for something specific, then maybe it's okay, or if you've got a rainy day fund. Now, looking at some of the reasons why I personally consider your savings account to be the worst place for your money right now in 2022 is because your money is only insured up to a certain amount anyway in the bank. Now, you may not know this, you may not be aware of this, but your money is not fully protected just because it's in the bank. It's not safe in the bank. Now, it's safe up to a certain amount because of FCA regulations. It has to be ring fenced, it has to be protected, but it's only protected up to £85,000. Now, some of you listening, you probably think, that's brilliant. I don't even have £85,000. I'm lucky if I've got £8,000. I'm lucky if I've got £850. But this is still something you're going to want to know for the future, because my hope is that through watching this channel, by learning to invest the way that I invest and the stuff that I do, then you're going to be able to have far more than that in your account. But actually, we don't want more than that in our account because it's not safe. So if you have more than £85,000 sat right now in a bank account, just be aware that it is not safe. It's not insured. If that bank goes under for whatever reason, if we go into a recession and the banks start to crumble, like happened to BlackRock a few years ago, then any money you have over 85,000 will be lost. It's going to be so hard for you to get access to it. And there's actually times in which the banks will refuse to give you access to your own money. What is that about? How the heck can the bank refuse to give you access to your own money? I personally was looking to invest in a business a few years ago, and the bank wouldn't even let me take the money out of my account to put into that investment. Now, watch one of my later videos, you'll see why actually the bank were doing me a favor, but we'll talk about that at another time. But access to your money is not guaranteed just because it's in the bank. So really want to be careful about that. Be aware of that. The other factor that we've got kicking in, which I'm sure you're all aware of, the cost of living is going up. And part of the reason why the cost of living is going up is because inflation is rising as well. Now, this is going to impact everything. It's going to impact your mortgage rates, your lending rates, everything. That's why the cost of living in part is going up so much. So we've got inflation happening. Inflation is gradually rising. I think it's the highest it's been in, I don't know, quite a lot of years. We're kind of looking at around about 10% at the last point I checked, which was a couple of hours ago from doing this. We're sat at around about 10% inflation. Now that means your money in the bank, if it's in a savings account, is losing its value by 10%. It doesn't mean the money is disappearing. It's just the buying power of that money is gradually eroding, well, I say gradually, rapidly eroding to the tune of 10% every single year. So that means if you have £100,000 right now, I'm using simple mathematic numbers for me here, so you've got to keep it to 100. So if you've got £100,000 in your bank account, first of all, it's not insured, but that money, if you were to go and buy a product which is worth £100,000, it would cost you £100,000 right now. 12 months time from now, you'd still have the £100,000, but if that product has tracked with inflation, then it's now costing you £110,000 to buy, but you don't have the money. So although you have the same amount of money, your ability to buy, your buying power has been eroded because inflation has eroded the value of that money. So inflation basically means you can have the same amount of money, but you can actually get access to less. Now, we don't like that. We want to have you having access to everything that you want. And this is why it's so important for you to be putting your money somewhere which is generating you at least, if you want to match inflation, so your money isn't eroding, at least 10% per year. Now, that's not an easy task to do, but any interest above the 1%, which you might be luckily getting in your savings account, is going to lessen the blow of that erosion being caused by inflation. And it's another reason why it's dangerous to rely on just the bank to look after, to protect, and to keep the value of your money going up. It's really, really dangerous to do that. In fact, it just does not work. As a simple mathematic calculation, what the banks are giving you for the money you've got sat there as an interest rate, as a growth percentage, compared to what they're making with your money. They never tell you that one, do they? What do you think? How do you think they make their money? They're using your money to make more money, and they're giving you a pathetic percentage result. So be careful with that one as well. So what's the alternative? How do we rely not just on the bank? How do we rely on not just one income stream? And for me, the answer is get educated. As you all know, my journey into investing started with learning how to invest in trading the financial markets, primarily Forex. That's where I started. So I don't need to rely on just one income stream. I don't have to rely on just the bank to make me money and protect my money. I've got my money now in different asset classes, different ways of generating a monthly income from the assets that I own. And my major asset, knowledge and the ability to apply it correctly. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, like and comment with any questions you've got, and share this video with anybody who you think may find it useful. My name is Lewis Crompton, and this is not financial advice.